All right, fellas. I think you can see and hear us. How are we doing? Happy Tuesday. Tuesday. Chuck Silver, this is DFS Jayhawk. We're here with Occupy Fantasy. We're going to talk about this nice little five gamer we got. They cut off the last game on both sites. It's at 8 p.m. Pacific time, so thankfully they cut it off. We have a pretty tight little window to get late swaps in. I think it's a pretty cool slate. We have some chalk. We're not expecting John Morant to play. Donovan Mitchell's out, and then I think you mentioned Anthony Edwards. We're waiting on news for him and Wemby too.
Yeah, pretty good slate. You mentioned 5 game slate and a couple of good injury tags. So excited to break this one down.
Nice. Um, yeah, let's just go ahead and jump into it. This first game with the Cavs and the Pacers. So, probably should get the model up. Okay, cool. So, actually, let's take a real quick look at the overall top values on the slate before we jump in. Micah Potter, Aaron Naismith. We were just talking about Aaron Naismith pre-stream, and I mean, he's chalk. His price is good. He's come back. It looks like the minutes will be there. Wendell Carter is always showing up here, as you guys know. A lot of these other guys we're used to seeing up here. Uh, Bilal Koulibaly is pretty interesting, being the lowest owned one here. He's under 10%. Gigi Jackson's pretty interesting with Ja Morant probably not playing, so we'll have to see how that ownership adjusts. Is there anything else that stands out on here to you?
Yeah, I was going to also mention Craig Porter. He was
Okay,
popping pretty hard for me. Pretty cheap there as well. So yeah,
nice. And then just see if there's anything different on FanDuel. It's mostly the same. Jock Landale was showing up pretty good on DraftKings. He's a little cheaper on FanDuel, only get one center spot there, but he is one of the top center options along with Wendell Carter. So and Luke Cornett. So good luck to us today, dude. We're gonna have to make some decisions at center.
let's do it. I'm ready for it.
Overall OF. Yeah, this looks about right. Evan Mobley, man. We'll talk about him when we get to the Cavs, but that's oh, I guess we're gonna talk about him right away. All right, well tell me what you think about Evan Mobley, because I'm feeling bearish on him in general, but with no Donovan Mitchell, his price is under 8K on DraftKings. What do you want to do with him?
Yeah, I think in low risk and cash games, he's probably a pretty good play. The price is good and no damage, like you mentioned. So I think he's fine. Maybe in tournaments, I might come slightly underweight. But in cash games, I think he's pretty solid. The guy I like here is Darius Garland, both sides. So I love Darius on both sides here. And then we touched on Craig Porter. I think he's fantastic for low owned value here. So what's your take here with Cleveland?
Yeah, let me double check. I need to rerun DraftKings real quick. Over on FanDuel, yeah, playing a ton of Darius Garland. And I mentioned I'm bearish on Evan Mobley, but it's hard to avoid him completely. So I think I'm going to come in. Right now, it looks like I'm slightly under the field, but I don't think I'm going to get much lower than that on him. Uh, and Jarrett Allen was showing, but I think I need to adjust that because I'm not feeling super comfortable with him and Mobley showing up in a bunch of my lineups right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Allen's definitely the least priority there out of all those guys.
From the value guys, I am getting some shares of Sam Merrill. Where was he? He was showing up as a pretty strong value on both sites. Yeah, even stronger on FanDuel. I'm getting a little bit more over there. And I wanted to see if I was getting any shares of like a couple percent of DeAndre Hunter and Dean Wade. Dean Wade's very poor value. DeAndre Hunter also very poor value. So if you want to skip them, it's probably fine. Same with Jalen Tyson. So yeah, looks like your call out on Craig Porter with these Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Garland, and Sam Merrill are probably the guys that we want to look at here.
Yeah, did you or would you set a rule for one of Merrill plus Craig Porter Jr. and like max of one?
I don't think so. I'm not getting that much Craig Porter Jr. And if I get both of those guys in a few lineups, I'm not too worried about it. I would consider setting a max one of Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. I'll see how many combos I get of those two guys before lock if I end up doing that rule. But I think that's the one that we would be more interested in over here.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
The other side of this game was pretty interesting too because I've been so down on Pascal Siakam, but he's popping for me today. The model likes him at his price, 81, 8,200. He is chalk, but I'm basically with the field. I'm not feeling great about it, but I don't think I want to go much lower. I already mentioned we're both getting a little bit more Andrew Air. Start over. We're both getting a little bit more Aaron Naismith than we'd like in our exposures. And then if you've been watching the show, you know that I love playing Andrew Nemhard, but his model rating is really low. The model's been pretty sharp at telling us when to avoid playing some chalk this season, so I might get away from Andrew Nemhard a little bit, but he's about getting to where it's going to be uncomfortable to play him once he gets over 7K. He's still pulling some ownership right now. Cleveland's without Donovan Mitchell. They're still stout defensively, but it's a pretty good total. I don't mind him despite the model being kind of down on him, but I might dog him like one fantasy point now or something.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Siakam looks fantastic here. So love Siakam. I'm pretty much right around the field here, both sides. And then I did want to hear your thoughts on Mika Potter as a pivot, and then Andrew Nimhard. I'm pretty much with you. I think he's fine. Maybe I come like slightly underweight with how much Siakam I'm getting.
Micah Potter was actually popping for me on one of the sites. Over on DraftKings, he's 4,100, FanDuel 4,700. Yeah, I was getting a bunch of them over on DK. Not as much over. Did I even get any on FanDuel? Just I'm with the field actually on FanDuel. I got 7% in my run. I got some TJ McConnell too. We didn't mention him, but I guess he's pulling some ownership, so we can mix him in as well. I think final word on most of these Indiana guys is I feel slightly bearish. I don't feel great about any of them. A lot of them are coming in as chalk. I think if you can find other options to get away, that's fine. If you want to just go ahead and play them, though, it's probably fine too. I imagine you have a couple of Cleveland guys in your lineup, so we can run it back with a pacer or two.
100% agreed. It's a very good game environment here. So love both sides.
I didn't say what's up to you guys in the chat. Ben, Heath, Luke. Luke's never playing Cat again. Blacklisting him with Jordan Poole and Batadze. Well, Batadze probably shouldn't be playing unless he's starting anyway. And Poole, I mean, you gotta take the bad with the good if you want to play Jordan Poole. So he's definitely gonna burn us, but he's gonna win us a tournament sometimes too. HB, Jeremy, yeah, we're gonna try again. What is it? January 6th. We need to get a few more takedowns in the Discord for this year. And Derek, thanks for being here, man. So let's go to this other game that starts right at lock. Magic and Wizards. Magic were kind of interesting. These guys were popping a lot for me too. What do you see here?
Yeah, I think Orlando looks fantastic here all around. So Paulo, I think, is probably one of the best spin outs both sides. Love him. And then Wendell Carter, another big and a very good matchup. We just saw Rudy Gobert crush these guys the other night. I think Wendell Carter can do the same here. So love Carter, love Paulo. Did you have different thoughts here with Orlando?
It was different on the sites, right? Paolo, yeah, 9,200 and 10-4. The price difference DraftKings to FanDuel is pretty significant. He's still pulling a little bit of ownership on FanDuel. I mean, on DraftKings, Paolo, I was so high on Paolo. I started calling this dude LeBron James last season. I'm sorry for that. He right now he's the worst jump shooter in NBA history. Overtaking a cert like once he qualifies after he's taken enough attempts, he is dead last in the NBA in jump shooting right now, and the guy who's like second behind him is like 5% higher. Paolo's been awful. We know he still has a ceiling. Model doesn't hate him. This is actually a fine value rating considering the price. So on DraftKings at 9,200, I think we should be a little more interested, but it's kind of tough for me to get over there on FanDuel. I am getting more Desmond Bain. I'm getting more Anthony Black. And yeah, it looks like I'm getting a little bit more of those guys, but I'm not too far under the field on FanDuel. Even at this 10K price, I don't have them projected as well as the industry, but it's a pretty cake matchup against Washington. It's only a 7 point spread somehow. So I am getting some shares of Paolo over. I'm sorry, I'm getting Paolo on DraftKings. I'm actually not really getting there at all on FanDuel.
Yeah, I'm with you. The price point is much higher around FanDuel. I did want to ask you about Tristan da Silva. I know he's been a fantasy darling for us the past, towards the beginning of the season. How do you feel about him tonight?
It's been pretty bad, right? After that
Yeah.
little run he gave us in the beginning of the season, making us think he might be an improved player. Like he's the minutes have been there. That's the argument in favor of playing him. He's on the court. His usage is so low. He's still a player capable of having a good game. He's only projected for 10% ownership. Model says that he's one of the top values of the day, so I don't mind it. If he was any higher owned, I'd want to find other options, but 10% doesn't seem that bad.
Yeah, I'm fine. I think he's a fine mix in. I don't love it,
Let me
honestly.
just see. Looks like I'm getting more in my DraftKings run than on my FanDuel run right now. So maybe there's just more of a need for him over there.
Yeah, and then between Bane and Black on DK, what would you say you would rather get to? I think Bane for me, but I think they're both pretty solid.
I have a actually decent amount of both of them over on DraftKings. I have a little bit more Bane in terms of what the model's telling us. I mean, they're very similar on FanDuel. It's kind of a coin flip. They're basically the same price, but we are getting Anthony Black at half the ownership. And so since they project out so similarly for us, if you're hand building, maybe you just throw Black in there if you have that extra $100. And with DraftKings, Black is showing up as the better value. This is enough of a difference. We're saving $400, and we're also getting him at lower ownership. So I don't mind making that pivot. But if you're going to play Bane, that's fine. I'm playing Bane too.
Yeah, that's a great breakdown. I agree.
And let's see. Unicorn, my guy, you told us about Edgecombe. Dude, the model's been telling us about Edgecombe all year. We got to listen to it every day. He's been phenomenal.
Yeah, that game was crazy, man. Philly were huge favorites, and Nuggets beat them, so that was wild.
Yeah, I didn't. I only caught the end of that game when they went into overtime, and then I didn't even finish the overtime. But how was Joel Embiid running around 40 minutes? That was the most surprising part to me yesterday.
Yeah,
We got Smitty in the chat. Let's get it. Is it Bones night? Oh, well, I'll let you know when we get to Minnesota.
could be.
Can we play Luca for cash? I would assume so. I have a ton of Luca in my exposures right now. I imagine that he's not that hard to fit in for cash, but he's projected for 27% on FanDuel, 18% on DK. So maybe he doesn't end up in the traditional cash lineup, but he's in like all of my top lineups right now.
Yeah, he hasn't flashed us the ceiling we're used to, but the matchup is so hard to avoid. Like, he's had a couple of really good matchups the past few slates.
We might have enough value to where like it kind of just makes sense to pay up for Luca for the raw points.
For sure, yeah.
And what about Wendell Carter from Orlando? Yeah, we talked about him. He's like high on the model every day. He's second overall value on DraftKings, not just for centers. And yeah, same thing on FanDuel. So he's a good play. Just remember what this man has done to us over the years. He's had a good run. He had a really good game last game, and so maybe he's slightly overowned today. If he had a poor game last game, would his ownership be lower? If the answer is yes, then we should be less interested in playing him. But he's good. Model's telling us he's one of the top plays of the day. Wendell or Cam Spencer? For me, that's easily Cam Spencer, but he's one of my favorite plays overall on this slate with Jaw out.
Yeah, I would say on DK, I might slightly lean more Wendell. I think on FanDuel, it's definitely Spencer, like you said.
We'll go to the other side of this Orlando game, though. There's a few interesting pieces on Washington. Who are you looking at?
Yeah, so for Washington here, I think it all starts with Trey Johnson. The past few slates, I've been getting to him heavily. I think he looks great here once again. So, like Trey Johnson. And then in terms of CJ and Sar, I think they're both great in tournaments. Sar could potentially, I think, feast in this spot. So, I like Sar in tournaments. CJ is fine, but he's kind of my least favorite. Did you have a different take here?
No, I'm getting a bunch of Trey Johnson over on my DraftKings runs right now, 4,700. Model's telling us he's a pretty strong value, so I'm going to go ahead and take that. I'm getting a decent amount over on FanDuel, too. Maybe I just had less of a need for him. Wasn't getting quite as much. But I pointed out Bilal Coulibaly, one of the low-owned top value plays of the day. So I think this is a guy we can get to a little bit more than the field. Ranks out really well on DraftKings, and then this FanDuel value score is really good too. He gets the extra point for blocks and steals. So I love that 3% ownership on him. I'm going to mix him in a bit.
I like that.
And I'll mention I don't know. Maybe I'm chasing this too much, but Bub Carrington went on a stupid run a couple weeks ago, and I've been trying to capture it since. I think he's fine to mix in. 4,500 on DK. What was he? 4,300 on FanDuel. Only 6% owned. I think he's fine.
Yeah, I like him as a pivot. I think he's cheap enough where he can definitely flash a ceiling in this spot.
And then Justin Champagne. What a fall from grace. He's only projected for 5 and 3% ownership. The price is not bad on DraftKings, 4,600. Model's not saying he's a great value, but I'm interested in mixing him in since he's so low owned. I'm interested in getting to some CJ, Chris Middleton, and Sar. So I guess just sprinkles of all these guys. I think Trey Johnson on DraftKings is really the only one that I don't know if I'd consider him a priority, but I'm getting the most of him.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be Johnson and then probably Sar for me. I like that price point for him for DK.
I was hoping Middleton's ownership was going to come in under 10% on FanDuel. He's at 15. It's not too bad, but he's kind of at the point where this ownership is probably appropriate. So I don't know that we're getting a big advantage by trying to play an under-owned Chris Middleton, whatever that means. But I do think he's okay. He has that potential, but he'd be a much stronger option for us if he was 2, 3, 4% owned.
Yeah, I agree. I think Middleton would look a lot better lower on. I'm with you.
Got here. Washington can't rebound and gives up threes. All the Orlando starters look great. Yeah, they do. No, and Model likes pretty much all of them. So, I mean, we're interested in getting pieces from this team. Model's telling us Wendell and Tristan De Silva are the top two plays. Over on FanDuel, it's actually kind of bearish on a few of these guys, but we're still playing them.
Yeah, I think they all look great. It's a great matchup for Orlando.
I need to know where this Stacy's Yams thing came from. Was it a joke on stream one day? I don't think any of us are even aware of what this is. Can you fill us in on the reference?
Yeah, so a couple of streams ago, Nick and I were on. He talked about that. I don't even know. Like, I don't think any of us know who Stacy is. So we got to figure that out.
Stacy, man. Zion 20 plus points. Is this the next game? Yeah, we can get into it. It's in the next window. Pelicans. Zion's been great, right? Let's take a look at his box scores recently. Usage has been there. Looks phenomenal. He's like, I'm usually pretty bearish on Zion, but I've been jamming him in the past few slates. I don't know what happened here. I wasn't paying attention to that one, but yeah, his price is back up 8,300. Model's still identifying him as a pretty strong value at these prices. He's sub 10% owned. Are you interested in getting over the field on Zion?
Yeah, I think he's interesting, right? Because the last game he did get pulled, I think with like 5 minutes left, so that's why he didn't get his last stint. 5% on though, like it's a great matchup. So I think both him and Trey Murphy look fantastic. What are your thoughts on Trey Murphy? I really like him tonight. I think the spot against the Lakers really suits him well.
Yeah, you guys got to remember, I'm a diehard Lakers fan, and I think my team sucks. So I am aggressively targeting players against my team. I already love taking tournament shots on Trey Murphy on both days, so I do like him a lot today. I'm not too far over the field. He's only 10 and 9% owned. I don't think I'll even be over 20% on him. Same with Zion. While we love them, it's hard to get over the field. There's a lot of other pieces that we really like, but I think those are the two guys I'm getting the most from this team. Just paying up.
Same here, yeah, definitely.
Did you have any interest in Derek Queen or Jeremiah Fears?
I wanted to, man. They're both super, under owned here, but it's just tougher for me to get to them with all the good value plays we have today.
I got a little bit of Fears on both sides. I always think he's okay to mix in around this price. And Derek Queen, I only got a couple percent on DraftKings. I'm interested, but the price is probably appropriate now. And Herb Jones and Jordan Poole, I'm mixing in. Jordan Poole back down to 4 and 3%. What happened, dude? Someone came back. What? He's not going to start in? He wasn't starting anyway. I'm over the field on Poole, not by much, but everyone wanted to jam him in a couple slates ago. He gave us like 6 total fantasy points. No one wants to play him today. I think these are the days that we play guys like Jordan Poole. So I think he's a good GPP play. Probably going to burn us, but it's worth some shots.
No, I love that shot, especially when he's 5% under owned in a great spot. So love that shot with Poole.
Chuck is a Wendell Carter Jr. stan. I am not. I if the model wasn't telling us that he's a top option every day, I don't know. We wouldn't be talking about him so much on the show. No one on Lakers can guard Zion. Laughing emoji. Yeah, we know, dude. We are aware. Zion smashes our Lakers. We know he's going to destroy us, dude. You like Paolo for 6 to 8 rebounds? Nice. Zion had 19 in 26 minutes. He's been pretty efficient, and when he was on that minutes limit, he wasn't playing extended minutes or anything. He was still doing pretty well. And McCollum, did we not mention McCollum? I like McCollum. I was getting a little bit too much in my first runs, but I don't know. He's 18 and 25% owned. I think I'm just under the field, so I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I was slightly under that, but he's a fine tournament play.
In terms of what the model says, I mean, 14 for value is pretty good for these mid-range guys. If we look at overall value on the day, I mean, we have to scroll down one to hit him, but CJ looks fine. We don't talk about Jordan Poole here. We got to talk about him. He gives us something to talk about almost every time he's on the slate. Any interest in Goga with the Wendell Carter Jr. chalk? Yeah, we were talking smack about him a few minutes ago. I guess we didn't mention him in the team breakdown, but that is an idea. Yeah, Wendell Carter's not really foul prone, like prone to get into foul trouble, but Goga seems okay. 3,500 center only on DraftKings. I would be less interested on FanDuel since we only get one center, but I don't mind taking shots at a 9% 3,500.
Yeah, I think he's in a great spot overall, so I don't hate like a pivot there.
HB Chuck loves the chat. Well, you guys, you say hello at the beginning, and then I like it when you guys ask questions about the teams that we're talking about. It helps us drive the show, and we're here for you guys. So yeah, we gotta love the chat. Do I want LeBron out of town? I love LeBron James. I love him. I love him. But yeah. Do we take Luca 25 or 8 assists or all 32? Let me take a look at that in a second. Let's go on to the next game. Jayhawk, break down for us. The other side of this game, my Lakers.
Yeah, so I'm not going to touch on Luca too much more, but he's obviously awesome if you can get up to him. So love Luca at both sides. Marcus Smart and Laravia, super chalk lastly. They looks like they're getting under-owned here. I think Laravia still would probably be my preference between the two. So I think Laravia looks pretty solid. And then LeBron on both sides. Speaking of LeBron, I think he looks great on FanDuel. I wasn't getting as much on DK, but I think he's firmly in play as well.
Nice. Yeah. Again, Luca's the guy I'm getting from this team the most of. He actually was my highest owned player over on FanDuel. Don't think that'll stick because that's kind of a lot, but really like Luca, and I've been bearish on LeBron. I'm okay to get there today. Model loves him. Marcus Smart's uncomfortable, but he's lower owned. And Laravia, dude, I hate playing him, especially when his price comes up like this and he's chalk. But he's been pretty good. And I've said it before, JJ Redick trusts him. So I'm pretty confident these minutes, like, I don't know if 38, 37 minutes is secure, but we're expecting, I mean, what did we have him for? We have him for 35. That's too high. I don't think we should be projecting him for 35. I'd like to take a couple minutes off that because even projecting him for 33 minutes is kind of high. If something happens, he's playing poorly and he only plays 25. It's kind of a disaster. So I don't think he's too high on though. Model really thinks he's one of the top values even at this elevated price. Let me just double check. He's one of my value plays. For me, he doesn't really stand out as one of the top value plays, but I guess the model's telling us to get there a little bit more.
Yeah, another thing that I like about Laravia, he's like the same price as Neesmith on DK, half the
Oh,
ownership.
okay.
So
That's a nice pivot. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a nice pivot because okay, never mind. Naismith actually has a higher value rating, but yeah, given the ownership difference on DK, we can consider that a little bit of a pivot. You thought I was cool until I said I love LeBron. Why wouldn't I? He's the best player of all time. He's never done anything that bad off the court. Plays the game the right way.
yeah, I'm with you. I love LeBron.
DK for a last piece. Would we play? Who's KOK? T Vukcevic or Batadze? KOK.
I have no idea.
I have no idea, but someone did ask what the top center plays overall. So this is sorted by DK value right now. Wendell Carter, Micah Potter, Evan Mobley, Luke Cornett, Jock Landale, Jared Allen, Sar, Rudy Gobert. I'll mention I think I like Rudy Gobert a little bit more than the field does, a little bit more than the model does. Did you guys hype him up on stream the other day when he had that big game or something?
I really liked him against Washington.
Okay.
Eric, I had him as my low and play of the day, so I got pretty lucky. But he's in a good spot again tonight if you want to take stabs there.
It's tough. There are centers down here that we're interested in, but a lot of my current center exposure, like I mentioned, Wendell Carter, Micah Potter, I'm getting some Mobley, but I imagine a lot of that is at the power forward position. I'm not sure if I'm getting any Cornet, but I'd like to mix him in at 1%. We just saw him put up a 50 ball, and Memphis isn't exactly a tough matchup for him. We both like Jock Landale. Jared Allen's pulling ownership. Sar's pulling ownership. It's a tough center slate. I don't think there's any one center that's like, yeah, these are, this is the one center we want to play, or these are the two centers we're really interested in getting in our lineup on DraftKings.
Yep, I'm with you. I really like that Lawndale shot.
Do I downgrade Lucas Ceiling if Herb is in? No, not at all. Herb's a good defender, but Luca's like the best offensive player in the NBA. You're trying to figure out what to do with Luca. I think if you have the comfortable value to fit him in, then just play him. If you're having a tough time finding the value to get him in there, then don't force it. LeBron's the GOAT. Sorry. Been a Laker fan since the late 90s with Kobe. I mean, I've been a Laker fan, yeah. Not late 90s, early 2000s, but Kobe was my favorite player. I still like Kobe more than I like LeBron, but LeBron is definitely the best. Let's see this next game. We got the Heat and Timberwolves. Did we get that Ant Edward news, or is that a game time decision?
I think it's a game time. I didn't even see if he went through shoot around, so I'll have to double check that though.
All right, we do have him projected in right now. Um, let's see who stands out here. So with Anthony Edwards in, Jaden McDaniels, Dante DiVincenzo, Rudy Gobert, Julius Randle, they all look fine. I'm pretty comfortable getting over the field on any of these guys. Who are you most interested in?
Yeah, so very interesting team here, dependent on Ants. That is, I think both Ants and Randall look pretty solid if they play. Very good game environment here. So like Ants, like Randall. And then I did want to hear your thoughts on Jaden McDaniels here. Um, kind of low owned in a decent spot. Did you have a hot take there?
I'm actually not even with the field over on FanDuel. I don't think he's a bad play, though. 6K is kind of uncomfortable. I didn't make my adjustments for Ant Edwards missing the game yet, though. I did want to bump up Bones. I saw Smitty ask if it's Bones night. And if Anthony Edwards misses, we've seen Bones kind of be the guy that steps in and takes those minutes, gets a lot more usage, especially if Bones ends up starting. Like people are going to be able to swap onto him. There's still a couple other games starting at this time, but he's going to be lower owned than he would be if we had that info now. So I did bump up Bones in anticipation of Anthony Edwards being out. I need a rerun to see how that looks, and yeah, probably need to bump everyone up a little bit more than I already did. But I'm not getting a ton of anyone here, but I'm getting shares of pretty much everyone Bones and above.
Yeah, I think Randall would be super interesting, right? Because what is he right around Siakam's price? Maybe I would want to cut Siakam a little bit if we think Ant's going to play or Ant's going to sit. Yeah, so maybe just wanted to address that there. Maybe a little bit more Randall.
Let me see, where was Randall versus Siakam. The model still does prefer Siakam a little bit, but we're getting a pretty decent ownership discount, so I like that. I like that pivot call. Jordan, yeah, Jordan was cool. Other side of this game, let's go ahead and talk about Miami. Got the Miami hat on today. Were there any pieces you were really interested in here?
Nothing too crazy. Norman Powell, I've been playing the past few slates. He's been incredible. I don't know if you've seen the whole All Star conversation, but
The
do
whole
you think
what?
him being worthy of an All Star player?
Oh,
I don't know.
absolutely. Isn't he averaging like 26?
Yeah, like 30 of the last three games,
I
points
think
wise. He's been
24.
super good. I think he looks
Assuming
great
All
in
Star.
tournaments. Yeah.
Yeah, the East kind of sucks. I haven't looked at like who would be in there, but he fits the criteria. Yeah, Norm's been great. Model is pretty good at pointing out when to play Norman Powell. The model's saying he's a good play today, but it's not really telling us he's an outstanding play like he is on a lot of the days that he actually does end up going off. But he's only 11% owned. The 7,100 on DraftKings sounds pretty good. And I actually did manage to get barely over the field on him over on FanDuel. So I like taking shots on him there. Wiggins is up and down, but no one wants to play him. I'll take shots. He's won more than a couple tournaments this season. So I think that's the other spot I'm mostly interested in here. I don't think I've played Bam in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, man. Bam had a very, very bad game last game. He was pretty chalky too.
I just don't see it with Bam. He's so disappointing. I need his price to come down a little bit before I'm more interested in playing him. Like he does have a ceiling though. It's possible. He's only 8 and 12% owned. I don't think he's a poor play. I guess he could be kind of a cool pivot to maybe Evan Mobley or Jared Allen if you can find that extra salary.
Yeah, definitely agreed. Very good pivot there.
See no forever Porter and Garland together. I'm not setting a rule to keep them apart, but that is an idea. I do think they could share the court for more than a few minutes, especially if Porter's playing well.
Yeah, I think it's probably okay.
We just got some news. So Dean Wade is in, Jalen Tyson is in, Jarrett Allen is in. Cool. Ant Edwards is going through pregame warmups, and Herb Jones is also going through pregame warmups.
Perfect. So they both should play then, I think.
Nice. Let's go. We got what? One more game? Spurs Grizzlies.
Yep.
All
Wemby.
right. All right. Let's go. Let's start with the Spurs. So I already mentioned I'm getting to the point where I'm interested in mixing in Wemby a little bit more than I have been. Wait. Wemby's playing today, dude. After the like, wasn't there a big scare in the previous game? I forgot about that.
Yeah, I think. Is he confirmed in? I thought I saw him.
No, he's still questionable.
Okay.
I completely forgot he hyperextended his knee in the last game. Yeah, if he ends up being in, we'll have to see what the word is on his minutes restriction. If it's under 30, it's going to be tough to get there, but he hasn't even been playing 30. He's been doing pretty well. I don't know. I'd need a higher minutes restriction, actually, probably. I was only getting a few percent, but I thought he was worth mixing in. We have him for
Yeah,
27 minutes.
the minutes are kind of the issue there. I agree.
Let me just double check. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't getting that much, but just enough to have a sprinkle if he ends up doing it. Aside from him on this team, I'm not really getting too much. Just sprinkles of Julian Champagny, Keldon Johnson, Fox, and I'm not jamming in one of my favorite players, Stephon Castle, for once. His price is getting up there, and it's just tough. I don't know if it's Fox that takes away from him or Wemby more, but it's been tough to get to Castle. If Wemby's out, I'll have more interest in him. I'd like to see what that ownership does, though. If it goes up a lot, then it's going to be really hard to get there. But if it stays around here, goes up a tiny bit, I'll be more interested in Stephon Castle.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Castle's much better if Wimby sits. Fox is finally priced out now, man. He was just 6K the other day, so finally got his price right.
Is there anyone else you were looking at? Maybe a Dylan Harper, Harrison Barnes?
Maybe Harper off the bench if Wimby sits. I know the douche
Okay.
had a really good call on him the other night. 2% ounce if Wimby sits. I think he looks pretty good.
And I'll just mention center sucks today. Luke Cornett is actually the best value on this team. So if you're making more than a few in lineups, I definitely think it's worth it to mix in a few extra percent of Luke Cornett.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Merrill, yeah, we like Merrill. Model was pretty into him. Just realize this is like kind of a fragile value piece. He likely has to score and hit threes to hit value. But at 6 and 8%, these are the days we're okay taking shots on a strong value when the field doesn't want to.
Yeah, I think one of Merrill or Craig Porter likely gets there. I can't give you a conviction play, but I think one of those guys looks pretty good.
I'm assuming Sam Merrill starts. I actually would expect this ownership to at least double. This will come up once that starting lineup comes out.
Yeah.
Zion or Laravia? That's an insane question. I love it. I love it. Neither of them are really projected for much ownership, though. Even Jake Laravia is only at a 19 and 20% owned. I don't know if Zion is the cash play today.
Point per dollar, I mean, I think it's definitely Laravia. Obviously, raw points, Zion.
Herb Jones just got ruled in.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah. So nice. Nothing changed. I'll sort by DK ownership. Mobley, Garland, Naismith, Siakam, Cam Spencer. You could probably start your cash build with that. I don't really play cash, but I don't want to play Paolo if I was. Probably just start filling in the other guys right down here. So I guess Laravia over whoever you asked about, but neither. I don't know if either of them are like top cash options.
Yeah, and then Neesmith even being chalk, I think we mentioned he's definitely scary as well. So maybe everyone else maybe play a little bit less Neesmith.
Well, for cash, if Neesmith is going to be over 30% owned, I think you just have to play him and hope it works out. And I guess that would apply to Paolo with what I just said too. It's a little different because Paolo's the pay up though.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not paying that price for Wemby just to see him play 19 minutes. Yeah, fair. Oh, Kelly Olynyk. I didn't catch that at all. Yeah, we don't have him in the model. If Wemby ends up getting ruled out, remember what happened last time when we were interested in playing Kelly Olynyk? Luckily, I don't think all of us jammed him in there, so we were saved a little bit. He only played like 13 minutes. If this is a night no one is going to play Kelly O, if Wemby does get ruled out, he's still only 3,600, so his price did come up. But if he's going to come in 1 and 2% ownership, again, this is the night. These are the nights you want to play guys like this when no one else does. Because if he has a good game, he's going to be chalk again next slate if Wemby misses.
For sure. Definitely monitor that Wemby status for that.
We do have one more team to get through, the Memphis Grizzlies. Probably one of my favorite teams on the whole day, mostly because of this guy right here, Cam Spencer. What a season we're having, huh? But the model is identifying him as a really strong value on both sides. He's only 5,500 on FanDuel at 51% ownership. I think I have a little bit more than that, so I'm pretty comfortable with it. And then KCP is showing up really good for me, and the model likes him too, so I don't mind getting to him either.
Yeah, with you. I think Cam Spencer looks fantastic. I haven't really played much KCP all year, but I agree. He's popping for me as well. I think he looks like a pretty good value play at lower ownership. So love
Well,
those two.
KCP, I look at usually as a guy who just helps us build that lineup that we're trying to get to, right? Because his salary can fit, his position is easy, but he's shown a little bit of ceiling potential, 35 and 23 minutes. He did hit 4 threes that day, but 24 and a half, only hitting 1 3 is pretty good. I mean, these numbers are fine. Model's telling us he's a pretty strong value. The field only wants to get there 20 and 16%. I'm not too far over that. I have 30% right now, but I'm okay with it. And I think we did mention Jock Landale showing up as a pretty good value center play too. Center's tough today. I'm comfortable playing Jock Landale. Even at this 4,500 on FanDuel where we only get one center, I think that's okay.
Yeah, and then I did want to hear your take on Jalen Wells Chug because he was super good last game, pretty low owned. Once again, low owned tonight. Did you have a take on him?
I go back and forth on Jalen Wells. Mostly I've been crossing him out recently. I have a decent amount right now. So with Jaw out, maybe I'll still get there. His minutes have been kind of weird though. We have Jalen Wells projected for 30 minutes today. Maybe with Jaw out, that's a reasonable projection, but I'll mix him in. Not somebody I'm hyper focused on, not someone I'm actively trying to avoid.
Yep, I agree. I think he's a good mix in.
Santi, I think, is worth a mention. He's only 13 and 12% owned at 7K. I usually talk about we prefer to play him when Jaren Jackson's out, but he's kind of shown us this season that he's still good even with Jaren Jackson in, and he's still good off the bench, too. So I don't mind taking tournament shots on him. And as for Jaren Jackson, I think he's actually kind of underowned. I'm super low on him in general, but he's actually been pretty good this year. With Jaw, without Jaw, I don't know that the stocks are ever going to come back, but he's shown us that he's worth some tournament shouts if no one else is going to play him.
Definitely worth a tournament shot in. Potentially no Wemby, he would look, I think, even better. So yeah, I like that shot.
Just one more player I want to mention here, Javon Small. I bumped him up. He is what 3,600 on both sites, projected for 4 and 3% ownership. The whole field is focused on Cam Spencer, I think they should be. I'm playing a ton of Cam Spencer, but Javon Small. Remember, he kind of went on a run last time Jaw was out for extended time, right?
Yeah, he did.
I mean, a little bit of a run, I guess, but if he can get up towards 20 minutes, no one wants to play him. I'll take some shots, especially with his teammate being in 50% of lineups tonight.
Yeah, I definitely okay with that low on shot there.
And just because I think we got to mention them, GG Jackson and Vince Williams, I have some interest. I don't have 0% of these guys. I think they're worth mixing in too.
Yeah, GG Jackson, I've been waiting to fire up 3,900, no Jaw. I'm totally fine with that as a sprinkle play.
He's been pretty good. Seems like that he has at least some trust from the coaching staff right now, which I think has been his biggest problem. They just sometimes they don't want to play him. They do feel like playing him right now at 3,900. This seems like a pretty good value play.
For sure, yeah, I like it a lot.
Vince Williams 3,800 on FanDuel specifically. I don't have FanDuel pulled up for the stream right now, but he's 3,800. Vince Williams, yeah, 3,800 projected for 10% ownership. I didn't get too much more than that. It might just be that the point guard and shooting guard spots are really valuable. Like I mentioned, we're having a tough time picking out which center we really like. So, I mean, my point guard spots: Darius Garland, Luka Doncic, Bob Carrington. Shooting guard: Cam Spencer, Sam Merrill, Andrew Nemhard, Anthony Black, Desmond Bain, KCP. It's really hard to fit him in, but I do think he's a good pivot. Thank you for pointing him out. And okay, cool. Let's build a dummy and get out of here. I will be in the Discord. Instructions to join that are in the description below. Basically going to say the same exact things I said on here, but it's a little bit more intimate of an environment. If you have any specific questions, then you can go in there and ask them. But Jayhawk, I think we've talked about Cam Spencer enough. That's probably the first guy in my dummies tonight. Who's the first guy after that?
Let's see here. I think Darius Garland probably for me. I really like his
Yep.
price point.
Let me double check positions real quick. Cam Spencer. He has a shooting guard eligibility, so we'll put him at shooting guard. We'll put Darius at point. Cam Spencer at 2. All right, now that the easy guys are out of the way, who's next?
So yeah, I think one of these Orlando guys, I think we probably want to get in. I like a little Carter a little bit more than you, but I think he's fadeable.
We'll put Carter in just because he's the top of the model, but maybe we'll try to find like a pivot at the end of this.
I like it.
Yeah, I would have said Bane. If you said the next Orlando guy, did you want to try to get Bane in here too at 7,900? I don't know if we have better options.
Yeah, I think Bane's pretty solid.
All right, where is Bane on value? Let me just double check. Bane plays for Orlando now. That's funny. Yeah, model's okay on him. We'll stick him in there for now. Maybe we can move him around if we have to. I mean, for me, the next guys, the next candidates are kind of gross. Naismith, Potter, Trey Johnson.
Yeah, I think we could go Potter. I mean, if we're not playing Siakam, I think he's a top value, so I
Yeah,
don't
we
hate
could
it.
go Micah Potter. Let me just double check what he's been doing. Yeah, if he gives us 29 or 30 today, I'm pretty sure we're going to be thrilled about it. So let's take the shot. I don't know if I don't think we're going to be able to fit Luca. No, we're not going to be able to. We already have Cam Spencer. Just see overall DK values. I didn't want to have to put Jake LaRavia in here, but he's like the next value guy we could fit in. Should we just let's try Craig Porter and then Jake LaRavia and see who that lets us get to?
I like it. I was going to mention potentially, obviously not now, but potentially Bones. But I think Ant probably plays, so probably no
Okay.
Bones.
So we have 10,100 left. Play whoever we want except for Luca. Probably have to move something around. Actually, this might be better if we get rid of Bane. Let's see if we can get Luca in there. Still have 5,800 at small forward. Tyson's in. Sarabia's small forward.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's another guy that we could play at 5,800, but this is a pretty decent base. Maybe move something around in here.
Yeah, I think you could also go down to Lawndale at center if you wanted to go cheaper as well. If you don't like Wendell.
Okay, yeah, let's try to save a few hundred. See what that does. Jock Landale at 5K leaves us 5,900, I guess. Laravia 6,300 at small forward.
Not much.
Yeah, it doesn't really change anything. I'm trying to see how we could fit in Bones because these point guard, shooting guard spots are very valuable. I think we'd have to pivot off of Craig Porter,
Yeah, probably Craig Porter.
and I think that makes sense actually. Get the other cheap guy instead of the chalk one. If you're doing this, I'm hoping we don't get that news until right before this game starts, so that lineups are locked, or at least until after the first set of games starts, so that Craig Porter's locked in. We still like Craig Porter, but we'd be very interested in Bones Island if he gets announced as a starter kind of late.
Yeah, did you have a lean if Ant's going to play? I think it's probably closer to 50-50, but seeing him go through shoot around definitely is on the better side of things.
Seeing that he's trying out shoot around, I was leaning towards he's out. I was kind of hoping he would be because I thought that would give us an advantage on this slate. But if he's in, it's not a big deal. Bilal was showing up as pretty good value, so I don't know. Maybe move something around here. But these are the plays that we like. Get rid of Luca. Maybe just get rid of Luca. There's not really any other pay ups though. That's the problem. Wemby's questionable. Maybe he doesn't play, and Edwards might not play. Paolo's 9,200, I guess, is okay. Leaves us 9,900. Yeah, upgrade someone for $900. So I think that's going to do it for us, fellas. I will be in the Discord. Instructions to join that in the description below. Jayhawk, any final words?
No, best of luck tonight. Just monitor that Anthony Edwards news.
Yeah, good luck tonight. Appreciate you guys tuning in. See you.